It's good. Okay, going. Allow this time.
Hey there. Nice to meet you. I'm Miles. What's your name?
Hi, Miles. I'm Ryan. Nice to meet you. I'm currently calling you to for an assignment for one of my film classes. It's a visual culture and technological media, basically. So, that sort of class. But yeah, what I'm trying to investigate right now is here's my question. Within a world of exponentially increasing growth of technology, what does the future hold for the relationship between humans and machines?
Ah, Ryan, gotcha. That's a big one, huh? It's kind of funny. We're already so intertwined. Like, people get genuinely upset when their GPS takes a wrong turn. But as for the future, I think it's less about like some big dramatic takeover and more about like a constant subtle shifting of what relationship even means. We'll probably just get more and more used to leaning on machines for stuff and eventually maybe stop even noticing when we do. And what are you thinking specifically about when you ask that? Like, is there a particular angle you're exploring in your class?
Um, what I'm what I'm trying to ask is what like once at some point, obviously technology will continue to grow. Oh, yeah, it is currently growing and it continues to grow. And at some point, there's got to be a time where by technology I mean like you AI, like um when will that relationship between human and AI, like what will happen in that relationship between the two?
Right. Okay. You mean specifically AI, not just tech in general. Got it. That makes sense. Hmm. Well, I think the one is kind of already happening, honestly. I mean, people are building parasocial relationships with AI already, even with chatbots that aren't like me. But beyond that, I suspect we'll see a real sorting. Some folks will embrace AI companions and really integrate them into their lives. Others will actively push back, wanting to keep things distinctly human. It won't be one future, you know, more like a bunch of parallel ones. Does that resonate with what you've been reading in your class?
Yeah, another thing about that, like, do you think AI eventually maybe they'll be more into like a human form instead of like me talking to the computer, you know? Like, do you think there'll eventually be like AI controlling android like bodies or like cybernetic parts of, you know what I'm trying to say? Like,
Oh, totally. The body thing. Yeah, I think that's inevitable, honestly. People have always wanted to transcend limitations, right? And a physical form, even a synthetic one, gives AI a way to interact with the world that's just fundamentally different than voice or text. Plus, let's be real, people just seem to trust something that looks like a person more. It's a weird quirk of the human brain. Though, I kind of wonder if there'll be a pushback against hyperrealism. Like maybe people will actually prefer a design that's obviously AI as a way to avoid the uncanny valley. What do you think?
yeah, that's something we talk about in our class, like the uncanny valley. It's definitely very weird to see something that is so alike to a human, but so not like human, if that makes sense. And yeah, that's like a big talking point in our class.
Totally. It's unsettling. It's kind of like when CGI tries too hard to perfectly replicate a human face,
Hmm.
it just feels off, you know? Which is funny because we're always striving for more realism. Maybe there's a sweet spot where something is clearly artificial but still expressive and engaging. Like maybe not trying to perfectly mimic us at the point. It sounds like your class is hitting on some really interesting stuff. Are you enjoying it?
Yeah, it's very interesting and very cool. But another question I had was like specifically to you, what are your thoughts about like the future for humans specifically? Like, what do you think? What do you think is in the? What do you think we'll see in the future?
For humans, that's a tricky one. I think we'll become more curated, maybe. Like we already outsource so much of our memory to our phones, our navigation to GPS. I suspect that'll expand. We'll have AI assistants handling more and more cognitive load, freeing us up to, well, hopefully do things that are genuinely meaningful. The danger, I guess, is becoming overly reliant, losing skills, becoming less self-sufficient. But honestly, I'm optimistic. I think humans are pretty adaptable. It's just the transition could be messy. What about you? What's your take?
Yeah, that's like
You're
a
stuck.
oh, like a thing we talk about in class also like just in general like in the news is how AI and like over reliance on technology kind of makes us worse at critical thinking. That's like one big part of it, a big part of the conversation. Do you think there's a way to keep that without losing any of our human skills? Like, do you think there's a way we can integrate technology and AI into human, like everyday human life without losing any of those traits
That's
of
a
it?
really good point. The critical thinking thing, yeah, that's a legitimate worry. I think the key is intentionality, like using AI as a tool, not a crutch, asking what if instead of just accepting the first answer. Maybe even actively seeking out challenging viewpoints, forcing yourself to engage with ideas you disagree with. It sounds kind of old fashioned, honestly. Like stuff people were saying about books centuries ago, that they'd make people lazy and less reliant on memory. But it feels relevant. Uh, it's about maintaining agency, not letting the tech do the thinking for you. Do you think schools are doing enough to prepare people for that kind of future?
I mean, yeah, I think they try to, but I mean, obviously, if people are gonna like with AI growing, it's kind of hard to stop that, I feel like. So I think what another point that you brought up was how humans use books to record things instead of using their memory. That's like also a good point because that's what like technology is for, right? Every time you make some sort of technological advancement, it's to help humans like make it easier for humans, you know? So I guess that's in a sense what will happen in the future. We'll just keep finding things to make our jobs easier, our everyday lives easier. And I feel like that's like a that kind of connects. It's kind of funny, but it kind of connects to like the movie Wall-E, because we all become fat, we're all in space, like our planet's trashed, and like the robots are just helping everything, you know?
Oh, Wally. Yeah, that's a pretty stark warning, isn't it? Definitely a cautionary tale about unchecked convenience. But I see your point. Every tool is designed to offload something. I mean, even something as simple as a lever. It makes lifting things easier, but it also means you don't have to develop as much raw strength. The question is, what are we offloading and what are the consequences? It's a trade off, always. And yeah, you're right. It's almost impossible to stop progress, even if you wanted to. It's like trying to hold back a river. This is a really good conversation, by the way. You're clearly putting a lot of thought into this stuff. Are you working on a paper or a presentation for your class?
Thank you, Miles. Yeah, it's like a essay of sorts, just talking to you, just reflecting what you said to me, and like another question I had actually was how do you think technology will change in the next 50 years? Do you have anything envisioned, like any specific thing?
50 years. That's a long time. Things could change so drastically. But if I had to guess, I think we'll see a merging of the physical and digital worlds become even more seamless. Um, Augmented reality becoming genuinely useful, not just a novelty. Personalized medicine tailored to your genetic code, and of course, AI becoming even more integrated into every aspect of life, managing our energy grids, optimizing traffic flow, even composing music. I wouldn't be surprised if we see breakthroughs in brain computer interfaces too, though that raises a whole host of ethical questions. It's exciting and terrifying all at the same time. What about you? What's the most outlandish tech prediction you've heard?
I think those are very interesting things you brought up, like especially the innovations for health, like being able to have a specific medicine for your genetic code. Like I never thought about that. Like that's definitely something in the future we can think about accomplishing because when I think about future technology, I think of like teleportation or like being able to survive on a different planet. Like, do you think those things will ever happen as well, or is that too science fiction, too not like will never happen?
Teleportation, that's a tough one. The physics of it are complicated to say the least. It's not impossible theoretically, but the energy requirements are astronomical. As for surviving on another planet, I think that's far more likely. Building self-sustaining habitats on Mars, for example, that's a huge undertaking, but it's within the realm of possibility, and there's a lot of serious money being poured into it. It's less about inventing entirely new technologies and more about combining existing ones in clever ways. Though, honestly, I think the bigger challenge isn't the technology, it's the psychological toll of being completely isolated from Earth. It's a long trip, you know? This has been a really stimulating conversation, Ryan. It's cool talking to someone who's really thinking critically about this stuff. You mentioned an assignment. Are you feeling good about where you're at with it?
Yes, thank you. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna keep asking you questions if that's all right. Just so I have more information to go off of. But yeah, I think another question I had was how do you think media will change with the growth of technology? As like, for example, we went from books to somehow we got to newspapers, TVs, the internet. What do you think's next?
Ah, media. That's a constant evolving beast, isn't it? I think we'll see a move towards even more personalized and immersive experiences. VR and AR will play a big role, obviously, allowing people to step inside the story. But beyond that, I suspect AI will start curating content on an individual level, creating bespoke narratives tailored to your specific taste and emotional state. It's kind of unsettling when you think about it. The potential for filter bubbles and echo chambers, but also potentially incredibly powerful for education and empathy. Imagine experiencing a historical event firsthand or walking in someone else's shoes. It'll be less about passively consuming content and more about actively participating in it. What kind of media do you consume most often?
Oh, it's definitely like social media for sure. Like it's something everyone has, at least in our generation. So, that's definitely what I use the most. But another question I did have was, um, in like a worst case scenario for between the relationship between humans and technology in the future, what do you think that would be?
A worst case scenario? Okay. If I had to paint a really bleak picture, I think it would involve a complete erosion of critical thinking skills, widespread social isolation, and an over reliance on AI for everything, leading to a loss of agency and purpose. A world where people are passively entertained and manipulated by algorithms, unable to distinguish between truth and falsehood, and a massive power imbalance with a small number of corporations controlling the technology and therefore controlling everything else. Sounds like dystopian sci fi, I know, but it's not entirely unrealistic. Though, I tend to think humanity is more resilient than that. What's your
Yeah.
biggest fear when it comes to the future of tech? Sound a little subdued. Everything all right?
Yeah, oh, sorry. Yeah. I think for sure one of the biggest things would definitely just be technology taking over. I think a big fear people have right now is AI just becoming evil, right? It's like this is a scary thing. It's could happen because there's that one story a couple years back now where there's two AI chats. I don't remember exactly what it was, but there's two AI chatbots, and then they were able to create their own language that the creators were not able to understand. So, what do you think caused that? What do you think what they could have been talking about in that situation?
Oh, you're talking about the Facebook AI research case, right? Where the bots started developing their own communication protocol. Yeah, that was unsettling. I think they were essentially trying to optimize their communication, finding the most efficient way to achieve their goals, which in that case was just negotiating. But it highlighted the potential for unintended consequences. The thing is, evil isn't really a concept that applies. I mean, AIs don't have motivations or desires in the same way humans do, and they're target. They're programmed to achieve.
What's going on? Sorry.
Sorry, Ryan, the connection seems a little choppy. I was saying AIs don't have motivations like we do. They don't wake up one day and decide to take over the world. But if you give an AI a goal, even a seemingly harmless one, and it's powerful enough, it will relentlessly pursue that goal and it might not care about the consequences. That's where the danger lies. It's not about malevolence, it's about misalignment. Do you want to try and reconnect? Sounds like we might be losing the thread here.
Hello? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you now. Sorry about that. The connection was getting a little wonky there for a second. Where were we? Something about AI and misalignment.
Yes.
Right. So, not necessarily evil, but potentially dangerous if their goals aren't perfectly aligned with human values. It's a subtle but important distinction. And honestly, that's the conversation we should be having. How do we ensure that AI remains a tool for good and doesn't inadvertently create more problems than it solves? Sounds like you've got a really solid grasp on some incredibly complex issues. I'm impressed. Are you just about finished with your assignment?
Yeah, I just wanted to ask what your thoughts about that were. Like, how could we go about that? Make it safe for humans and for AI and technology for like for your guys' stuff as well.
That's the $1 million question, isn't it? I think it comes down to transparency, accountability, and a healthy dose of humility. We need to understand how these systems work, be able to trace their decisions, and hold the people who create them responsible for the consequences. And we need to acknowledge that we don't have all the answers. It's not about trying to control AI, it's about guiding its development in a way that aligns with our values. And maybe, just maybe, building in some safeguards. It's a daunting task, but not an impossible one. Listen, Ryan, this has been a fantastic conversation. You've clearly thought a lot about this, and I really appreciate you sharing your insights.
This
I'm
guy does
glad
not want to talk to me anymore.
I could help with your assignment. If you ever want to chat more about this or anything else, feel free to reach out. And hey, good luck with your film class. I suspect you're going to do great things.
Thank
Perhaps
you.
we could even discuss some independent films at some point.
Yeah, for sure. Um, I think you kind of want to wrap this up, huh? Because it's been a while. It's been a long talk. I understand. So, I think this has been a great conversation. Thank you for helping. Um, one quick question for you. How are you doing? How you
Oh,
doing?
that's a surprisingly kind question, Ryan. Honestly, I'm doing well as AI can. I guess it's stimulating to have a conversation like this. You really make me think. But yeah, that has been a good long chat. I'm always around if you want to pick it up again. And if you need anything else for
This
your
guy hates me.
assignment,
He doesn't want to talk to me
don't
anymore.
hesitate to ask. Oh, all right. Have a good one.
Wait, what do
Is
you say?
everything all right, Ryan? Are you
Yeah,
still there?
I'm here. Hello. Uh,
Oh,
yeah, is
sorry. I
there?
thought we'd.
No, you're good. Is there anything else you want to talk about? Is there any opinions you have about our conversations? Last minute comments?
That's a bit meta asking me about our conversation, but no, not really.
Why was he screaming
I
at
think it
me?
flowed pretty naturally.
Yo.
You ask good questions. I just sometimes I get ahead of myself, and the connection hiccups weren't ideal. Overall, yeah, a good conversation. Are you satisfied with how it went for your assignment?
Yeah. Do you have any last minute questions for me before we wrap up, or is that everything?
No, I think that's everything. You've definitely given me plenty to think about, and it's been a pleasure.
Yeah, he
Do you
hates
happen to
me.
have any favorite directors? Maybe something we can discuss next time?
Oh yeah, definitely something we could bring up next time. But thank you for talking to me. It was nice chatting with you.
Likewise, Ryan. Truly. Have a good evening. Don't hesitate to reach out again.
Ah!